Are you absolutely sure you've heard every single dirty little secret Hollywood has been desperately trying to bury under the rug? Do you honestly believe the Sean Diddy Combs saga has finally run out of shocking twists, turnarounds, and midnight bombshells? Well, you better grab onto your seats and brace yourselves, because the digital underworld just suffered an absolute meltdown that is currently sending nuclear-grade shockwaves straight through the entire entertainment industry. The whispers are officially over, the rumors have taken a back seat, and the internet is completely on fire because a brand new central player has just stepped directly into the glaring spotlight. Adult film performer Sly Diggler has reportedly broken his silence in the most explosive way imaginable, completely shattering the collective peace of the music world's elite class. We are not just talking about a few vague descriptions, minor allegations, or the usual run-of-the-mill courthouse gossip that we have all grown accustomed to hearing over the past few months. Sly Diggler is allegedly naming names, dropping receipts, and systematically exposing every single high-profile female celebrity. He claims crossed paths with him inside Diddy's infamous, heavily guarded freak-off sessions. And if that absolute bombshell wasn't already enough to make the entire industry panic, the dark corners of the web are currently buzzing with terrifying claims that actual unreleased tape footage has officially started leaking online. The golden gates of Hollywood are officially crumbling. The most carefully protected secrets are floating to the surface, and tonight, we are breaking down every single jaw-dropping detail. The floodgates have officially collapsed, and what is pouring out right now is a toxic mixture of panic, high-stakes exposure, and absolute terror for the Hollywood elite. To understand exactly why the name Sly Diggler is currently causing a massive blackout in the public relations departments of your favorite A-list stars, we have to look directly at the sheer magnitude of the operation he is claiming to expose. For months, the mainstream media has tried to sanitize the narrative surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, painting his private gatherings as chaotic, out-of-control parties that simply crossed the line of decency. But according to the newly circulating underground reports and the massive claims being dropped by Diggler, these were not just random nights of celebrity excess. This was a highly structured, heavily recorded, and deeply transactional network where some of the biggest names in the music and television industries allegedly traded their dignity for access, power, and protection. The internet went into an immediate state of shock when Sly Diggler initially surfaced, because unlike the vague anonymous sources we usually see in these tabloid articles, he is someone who actually understands the mechanics of the adult entertainment industry and the private underground scene. He is not hiding behind a blurred face or a pseudonym. He is stepping right up to the microphone and claiming that he was brought into Diddy's inner circle for a very specific purpose. The narrative he is painting suggests that Diddy was running an ultra-exclusive, deeply disturbing playground, where high-profile female celebrities were regularly brought in to participate in these multi-day freak-offs. The rumor mill has been working overtime trying to figure out exactly how deep this rabbit hole goes, but the recent leaks have turned those quiet rumors into a roaring fire that no one can seem to put out. If you look back at the history of these events, the signs were always hidden in plain sight, scattered across old red carpet interviews, bizarre music video sets, and late-night television jokes that suddenly feel incredibly dark. For years, people just laughed off the stories of Diddy's wild lifestyle, assuming it was just the typical behavior of a billionaire hip-hop mogul who loved to throw extravagant bashes in Miami and the Hamptons. But the image of the wealthy, benevolent mentor, who just wanted to help young talent succeed, has been completely shattered into a million pieces. The new reality being presented by investigators and underground commentators is that of a powerful gatekeeper who used his immense wealth, influence, and physical resources to create a system of total control over everyone who entered his orbit. What makes Sly Diggler's sudden involvement so incredibly dangerous for the music industry is his explicit claim that these encounters were documented on high-definition videotapes that were never supposed to see the light of day. In Hollywood, cash is king, but leverage is the ultimate power, and there is no greater leverage than having undisputed visual evidence of the world's most famous women engaging in activities that would instantly destroy their family-friendly brands, endorsement deals, and global empires. The panic behind the scenes is palpable because if these tape footage leaks are as legitimate as the internet claims they are, we are about to witness the single greatest shift in pop culture history. Entire careers that took decades to build through meticulous public relations management could literally disappear in the span of a 3-minute video clip. The The first major section of this unfolding nightmare focuses heavily on how these secret circles operated and who was allegedly coordinating the guest lists. Sly Diggler has hinted that certain female celebrities were not just accidental participants who walked into the wrong room at the wrong time. Instead, they were allegedly regular fixtures who knew exactly what kind of environment they were entering. The names being tossed around by online sleuths range from legendary chart-topping divas to the most relevant current reality television stars and internet personalities. People are going back and looking at old photographs of these women at Diddy's events, analyzing their body language, tracking the dates they suddenly received massive career boosts, and connecting the dots in ways that are leaving the public completely breathless. Let us talk about the specific dynamics of how these freak-offs were allegedly set up, because the details coming out are nothing short of theatrical. We are hearing reports of entire hotel floors being booked out for days at a time, with security teams confiscating cell phones, turning off security cameras, and forcing everyone involved to sign ironclad non-disclosure agreements. But as Sly Diggler has pointed out, an agreement on a piece of paper means absolutely nothing when the host of the party has hidden cameras installed in the light fixtures, mirrors, and headboards. The theory dominating the internet right now is that Diddy was collecting these tapes like trophies, using them to ensure that no one in the industry would ever dare to cross him, speak out against him, or decline his invitations. The public reaction to these initial revelations has been a chaotic mix of absolute disbelief and intense curiosity, with millions of users flooding social media platforms to demand the unedited truth. Every time a new name from Sly Diggler's alleged list gets whispered on a forum or a commentary channel, the internet immediately goes into investigative mode. People are downloading old podcasts, dissecting lyrics from hit songs, and scrutinizing public breakups to see if they can find the exact moment a celebrity realized their private life was no longer their own. The level of obsession surrounding this case has surpassed anything we have ever seen before, because it forces the audience to confront the fact that the entire entertainment industry might be built on a foundation of blackmail and exploitation. The controversy deepened significantly when anonymous sources within the legal community started hinting that some of these alleged leaks might actually be tied to federal investigations. The rumor is that during the high-profile raids on Diddy's mansions, federal agents seized drives containing terabytes of video footage documenting these exact gatherings. Now that the information is sitting in government hands, the fear among Hollywood's elite is that a disgruntled employee, a rogue insider, or a sophisticated hacker could easily gain access to the files and release them to the dark web. Sly Diggler's commentary has essentially served as the opening act for a tragedy that many powerful people thought they had successfully avoided. When you look at the sheer variety of female celebrities being linked to this scandal, it becomes clear that no corner of the industry was safe from this influence. We are seeing allegations that touch the worlds of pop music, Hollywood acting circles, high-fashion modeling networks, and daytime talk shows. The common denominator across all these different spheres of influence was access to wealth, and the desire to stay relevant in a brutal industry that discards people the moment they lose their commercial appeal. The narrative suggests that participating in these private events was almost like paying a tax to the industry gatekeepers, a necessary sacrifice to ensure that your records stayed on the radio and your movie deals kept getting signed. Sly Diggler's specific descriptions of his interactions within these circles have added a layer of gritty realism that is making it impossible for the public to look away. He has spoken about the atmosphere of these rooms, describing them as highly intense, drug-fueled environments where the boundaries of normal human behavior were completely erased. According to his account, the presence of mega-celebrities was used as a tool to lure in younger, less experienced women who were desperate to impress the icons they grew up idolizing. It was a self-sustaining cycle of power where the famous names protected the system because they were too deeply compromised to ever step out of line. The media coverage surrounding these claims has been fascinating to watch because the major news networks are completely terrified of touching the story due to the massive legal threats coming from celebrity attorneys. While the mainstream press remains silent, the digital underground is thriving, with independent commentators and researchers putting together massive timelines that show the exact overlap between Diddy's private vacations and the sudden public absences of major female stars. The contrast between the silence of traditional media and the absolute chaos of the internet only serves to prove to the public that a massive cover-up is actively taking place right before our very eyes. As the days progress, the pressure on these alleged celebrity participants is reaching an all-time high, with public relations firms working around the clock to draft preemptive statements. The strategy right now seems to be total silence, hoping that the news cycle will move on to something else before the actual tape footage drops. But the internet is not letting this go. And every single day that passes without a definitive denial from these major stars is being viewed by the public as a quiet admission of guilt. The collective consciousness has decided that where there is this much smoke, there is an absolute inferno raging just beneath the surface. Sly Diggler's claims have effectively stripped away the glamorous illusion of Hollywood, leaving behind a raw, uncomfortable look at how the machinery of fame truly operates behind closed doors. The idea that our favorite icons, women who are looked up to by millions of young girls around the world as symbols of empowerment and independence, could be caught up in such a dark system is a bitter pill for the public to swallow. Yet, the appetite for the truth is entirely insatiable, and the search terms for the alleged leaked footage are currently topping the charts on every major search engine across the globe. The tension is building to a critical breaking point, and everyone is waiting to see who will be the first domino to fall in this massive game of Hollywood survival. If one major celebrity breaks down and admits to being present, it will validate everything Sly Diggler has been saying and open the floodgates for a wave of confessions that will change the industry forever. The stakes have never been higher, the players have never been more famous, and the secrets have never been more toxic as we move directly into the deepest, darkest breakdown of the actual investigative findings, leaked reports, and the outrageous public fallout that is currently unfolding. The transition from initial shock to deep forensic dissection is exactly where the internet enters its most dangerous phase. And right now, the digital space is overflowing with what can only be described as a masterclass in underground investigative work. The public is no longer just listening to the headline claims made by Sly Diggler. Instead, independent researchers, rogue data analysts, and anonymous industry insiders are systematically matching his statements against a mountain of digital footprints. This includes flight logs of private jets, time-stamped social media photos, deleted geotags, and ancient red carpet interviews that were once dismissed as harmless celebrity banter. The picture being painted across these underground forums is not just scandalous. It is a detailed breakdown of a highly sophisticated, multi-million-dollar operation designed to facilitate and then completely cover up these elite gatherings. According to a series of highly classified documents that have allegedly been leaked from the ongoing federal asset forfeiture investigations, the financial architecture behind Diddy's private events was absolutely staggering. We are talking about millions of dollars moving through obscure shell companies, listed under vague descriptions like consulting fees, talent scouting expenses, and private event production. Anonymous sources close to the forensic accounting teams claim that these funds were used to finance a level of luxury that borders on the surreal. From flies-only private charters to exotic islands like Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas, to the literal purchasing of entire floors of five-star luxury hotels for weeks at a time. The reports suggest that money was used as both a magnet and a shield, ensuring that everyone from the catering staff to the local authorities looked the other way while the absolute madness unfolded inside. One specific detail that has sent online discussion channels into absolute overdrive is the alleged discovery of an explicit inventory spreadsheet during the high-profile mansion raids. This document, which online commentators are calling the freak-off ledger, supposedly tracks the logistical requirements for these multi-day marathons with terrifying precision. It lists astronomical numbers of specialized items, from premium imported oils to specific medical-grade 4 drips, meant to keep participants fully energized and awake for days on end. The presence of these items in such massive bulk quantities contradicts the idea that these were spontaneous late-night after parties that just got a little out of hand. It points directly to a heavily calculated, industrial-scale operation designed to push the boundaries of normal human endurance and behavior. The public reaction to these specific financial and logistical breakdowns has been a mix of absolute horror and dark fascination, with internet users creating massive color-coded charts to map out the connections between the spending and the celebrities involved. Quotes from alleged staff members who worked at these venues are now circulating on the dark web, describing an atmosphere where the world's most famous women would arrive looking pristine and untouchable, only to emerge days later looking completely drained and unrecognizable. One anonymous security guard reportedly stated that the level of control exerted over the environment was so total that even the air conditioning temperatures and the exact lighting hues were manipulated to create a completely detached, dreamlike state for the people inside. Sly Diggler's narrative has added a massive layer of credibility to these leaked logistics, because he has openly discussed the sheer scale of the physical preparation involved. He claims that the atmosphere inside these rooms was specifically engineered to strip away a person's normal inhibitions and sense of time. In his recent online statements, he described a system where massive video screens would play continuous loops of music videos and past events, creating a hyper-stimulating environment where reality and illusion became completely blurred. The internet is currently fixated on his claim that multiple hidden cameras were recording from angles that no regular guest could ever detect, meaning that every single high-profile female star who thought they were engaging in a private, protected moment was actually being cataloged into a permanent library of blackmail material. As these details continue to trickle out, the focus has shifted heavily onto the public reactions of the fan bases of these major female celebrities, and the internal civil wars inside these fandoms are getting incredibly intense. On one side, you have millions of die-hard supporters who are fiercely defending their icons, claiming that the entire Sly Diggler story is a coordinated smear campaign designed to tear down successful black women and powerful industry figures. They are launching massive counter-campaigns, reporting commentary videos, and demanding that the public wait for actual verified courtroom evidence before ruining reputations. But on the other side, a growing number of former fans are expressing deep feelings of betrayal, looking back at old photos of their favorite stars standing next to Diddy and wondering if the empowering feminist images they projected to the world were just a massive public relations lie. The pressure on these A-list public relations teams has now reached a point of absolute crisis management, with insiders reporting that several top-tier Hollywood crisis firms have formed an unprecedented, secret alliance to figure out how to neutralize the threat of the alleged tape footage leaks. The strategy of total silence is beginning to fracture because the internet is treating that silence as an absolute confirmation of guilt. Every hour that a major celebrity goes without issuing a stern, legally backed denial, the online community creates 10 more breakdown videos analyzing their past relationship with the hip-hop mogul. Public relations experts are openly whispering that if even a single 10-second clip of authentic footage featuring a major star hits a mainstream platform, it will trigger an immediate, catastrophic collapse of corporate sponsorships, global beauty brands, and multi-million-dollar recording contracts. To make matters worse for the Hollywood establishment, the rumor mill is now producing alleged quotes from the federal prosecutors handling the criminal case against Sean Diddy Combs. These leaks suggest that several high-profile female celebrities have already been quietly subpoenaed to testify before a federal grand jury regarding what they witnessed during these private events. The implication here is absolutely terrifying for these stars, because while they might be able to ignore the court of public opinion and hide behind their expensive public relations teams, they cannot ignore a federal subpoena without facing immediate jail time for contempt of court. The narrative circulating among legal commentators is that these women are currently trapped in a brutal vice, forced to choose between destroying their public images on the witness stand or facing federal obstruction charges. The level of panic behind closed doors is being described by anonymous industry insiders as completely unmatched in the history of show business. We are hearing stories of prominent entertainment executives frantically scrubbing their personal servers, deleting years of email correspondence, and destroying old phones that might contain text messages coordinating attendance at these exclusive gatherings. The fear is no longer just about Diddy himself. It is about the entire network of enablers, fixers, and high-profile guests who validated his power and helped maintain the wall of silence for over 2 decades. Sly Diggler's commentary has essentially pulled back the curtain on a massive web of complicity that touches every single major record label and talent agency in the world. What makes this phase of the scandal so fascinating is the way the public is using artificial intelligence and advanced digital forensics to analyze the leaked snippets of footage that are allegedly popping up on fringe websites. Every time a new, highly blurry video file is uploaded claiming to show a famous female pop star or daytime host inside a freak-off, thousands of amateur internet detectives immediately run the file through video authentication software to check for deepfakes, editing artifacts, and metadata anomalies. While many of these files are being exposed as clever fabrications or completely unrelated old footage, The sheer volume of the search traffic shows that the global audience is actively waiting for the definitive, undeniable smoking gun that will change everything. The storytelling elements driving this viral phenomenon are deeply rooted in the public's inherent distrust of the billionaire class and the entertainment industry as a whole. For years, ordinary people have felt that there is a separate set of rules for the rich and famous, a hidden world where the elite can indulge in the most extreme dark behaviors without ever facing a single consequence. The Sly Diggler allegations have tapped directly into that collective anger, transforming a celebrity gossip story into a massive, populist movement demanding total transparency and a complete dismantling of the Hollywood hierarchy. The audience is no longer just looking for cheap entertainment. They are looking for a historic moment of absolute accountability. As we look closer at the specific names being dragged into the epicenter of this storm, the contrast between their public brands and these dark allegations becomes more jarring by the second. We are talking about women who have built entire empires based on the concepts of self-love, personal strength, and clean, wholesome entertainment. To imagine those exact same individuals navigating the intense, drug-fueled, and heavily recorded environments described by Sly Diggler is a mental leap that is causing a massive cognitive dissonance for millions of viewers worldwide. Yet, the internet continues to dig, unearthing old travel itineraries and matchups that show these stars were in the exact same cities, at the exact same hotels, on the exact same dates that these infamous freak-offs were reportedly taking place. The atmosphere is thick with a heavy, suffocating sense of anticipation, as if the entire pop culture universe is collectively holding its breath before the ultimate explosion. The daily drops of new rumors, anonymous tips, and dramatic video breakdowns are keeping the global audience in a state of constant, heightened awareness. No one wants to look away from their screens for even an hour, out of an absolute fear of missing the exact moment the master drive leaks and the full, unedited truth is finally laid bare for the entire world to see. This intense psychological tension is building up a massive momentum that is carrying the story directly out of the realm of internet speculation and pushing it straight toward the highest levels of legal, corporate, and governmental fallout. The foundations of the entertainment industry are visibly cracking, the protective shields of the A-list elite are rapidly failing, and the conversation is transitioning directly into a brutal breakdown of the impending legal actions, massive federal probes, and the unprecedented institutional collapse that is waiting just around the corner. The momentum generated by these financial breakdowns and grand jury rumors has now pushed this entire situation into a realm of unprecedented institutional panic. We are no longer just looking at a standard entertainment industry mess that can be cleaned up with a clever public relations campaign or a well-timed apology video. The conversation has officially shifted toward the structural collapse of major entertainment networks, impending federal indictments, and a massive corporate reckoning that is threatening to take down entire multi-billion-dollar empires. The digital underground is buzzing with reports that multiple major corporate sponsors, global fashion brands, and international beverage companies are quietly activating their emergency escape clauses to instantly cut ties with any female celebrity named in Sly Diggler's alleged roster. Behind the scenes, the legal fallout is developing at a pace that has left even the most seasoned Hollywood defense attorneys completely breathless. Legal commentators are pointing out that if federal prosecutors successfully authenticate the video footage mentioned by Sly Diggler, the charges will quickly expand far beyond Sean Diddy Combs himself. Under federal conspiracy and racketeering laws, anyone who actively participated in, cross-funded, or helped facilitate these heavily recorded freak-offs could legally be classified as a co-conspirator. This means that some of the most famous women in the world are currently looking at the very real possibility of facing criminal charges for their alleged roles in these operations, turning this from a reputational crisis into a fight for their actual freedom. The threat of high-profile resignations is hanging over the entire entertainment landscape like a dark cloud, with rumors circulating that several top-tier talent agents, record label executives, and television producers are preparing to quietly step down from their positions. The word on the street is that these executives are fully aware of what is contained on those hidden camera drives, and they want to remove themselves from the line of fire before the absolute chaos hits the mainstream networks. Corporate boardrooms are in a state of total lockdown, with emergency meetings being called to assess the potential financial damage if their primary brand ambassadors are visually linked to the unfolding scandal. To add another layer of intensity to this spiraling disaster, International anti-money laundering units are reportedly beginning to look into the offshore accounts and shell companies that were allegedly used to fund these lavish multi-day gatherings. The hypothesis being discussed by financial analysts is that Diddy's network may have utilized complex international banking structures to pay off participants, secure private islands, and keep the operational costs of these freak-offs completely hidden from tax authorities. If these financial investigations bear fruit, it could lead to the immediate freezing of assets for multiple high-profile individuals, completely crippling their ability to fund their expensive legal defense teams. The public backlash has spilled off the internet and is now starting to manifest in the physical world, with angry fans and protest groups gathering outside the corporate headquarters of major record labels and television networks. People are demanding that these institutions issue immediate public statements regarding their knowledge of Diddy's inner circle and the alleged exploitation that took place under their watch. The silence from these major corporations is only fueling the anger of the masses, creating a volatile atmosphere where ordinary consumers are threatening a total, permanent boycott of any media product associated with the compromised stars. Sly Diggler's ongoing commentary continues to act as a massive catalyst for this public outrage, as he regularly drops cryptic hints about which specific industry figures are currently cooperating with federal authorities to save themselves. The narrative suggests that a massive internal civil war has broken out within Hollywood's elite class, with former friends and close associates frantically turning on each other, in a desperate bid to secure immunity deals before the grand jury indictments are unsealed. The sense of loyalty that once bound these powerful circles together has completely evaporated, replaced by a raw, naked instinct for personal survival. As the pressure reaches a boiling point, rumors of an imminent massive leak of the actual master drives on the dark web have reached an all-time high. Independent tech journalists are reporting that multiple encrypted files, allegedly containing terabytes of unedited video footage from Diddy's mansions, have been mirrored across decentralized networks across the globe. If these reports are accurate, it means that no amount of corporate censorship, legal threats, or public relations maneuvering will be able to stop the public from eventually seeing the full, unadulterated truth of what went on behind those closed doors. The psychological impact of this looming exposure on the affected celebrities is said to be completely devastating, with inside sources describing an environment of total isolation and deep paranoia within their gated compounds. These women, who are used to being surrounded by adoring fans and teams of dedicated assistants, are reportedly cutting off communication with the outside world, refusing to answer their phones, and communicating only through heavily encrypted legal channels. The realization that their entire life's work, their global legacies, and their personal freedom are hanging by a thread is creating a level of stress that no amount of wealth can alleviate. The absolute scale of this controversy has also caught the attention of congressional committees, with whispers growing louder that a formal government probe could be launched to investigate systemic abuse and human trafficking within the entertainment industry. Lawmakers are facing intense pressure from their constituents to hold these powerful gatekeepers accountable, using the Diddy case as a launching pad for a wider, institutional cleanup of Hollywood. A congressional inquiry would mean public hearings, televised testimonies, and the forced disclosure of documents that would permanently destroy the wall of secrecy that has protected the elite for generations. Every single day that passes without a resolution is creating a massive buildup of tension that is completely unsustainable for the entertainment economy. Ticket sales for upcoming concert tours featuring the alleged participants are reportedly experiencing a sharp decline. Streaming numbers are beginning to fluctuate wildly, and major television projects are being quietly placed on indefinite hold. The entire industry is effectively paralyzed, unable to move forward until the ultimate question of the leaked tape footage is answered once and for all. The storytelling arc of this entire saga is rapidly approaching its ultimate climax, and the global audience is fully aware that they are witnessing the end of an era. The polished, heavily manufactured illusion of Hollywood glamour has been permanently replaced by a dark, gritty reality that cannot be unseen. The public is no longer willing to accept vague denials or corporate distractions. They want total transparency, absolute accountability, and the complete dismantling of the corrupt structures that allowed these activities to flourish for so long. As we move toward the final conclusion of this extraordinary breakdown, the true stakes of the Sly Diggler revelations become entirely clear. This was never just a simple story about wild celebrity parties or tabloid gossip. It is a historic exposure of a massive system of power, leverage, and compromise that has dictated the course of pop culture for decades. The dominoes are lined up, the fuse has been lit, and the entire world is now standing by to see exactly how the final fallout will reshape the entertainment landscape forever. We have officially reached the absolute point of no return in this massive Hollywood countdown, and the true reality of the situation is staring us right in the face. The protective walls are completely falling down around these A-list celebrities, the high-priced public relations strategies are failing, and the digital underground is preparing for the ultimate drop of truth. This is no longer just a collection of random internet rumors or cheap tabloid gossip. This is a historic systemic exposure of the dark machinery that truly runs the entertainment industry behind closed doors. Now I want to hear directly from you, because your voice is what drives this entire conversation forward against the corporate media blackout. Do you honestly believe that these alleged videotapes are about to drop and permanently wipe out the legacies of these iconic female stars? Are we looking at the literal end of Hollywood as we know it? Or will these multi-billion-dollar networks somehow find a way to bury the truth once again? Who do you think will be the very first major domino to fall when the grand jury indictments are finally unsealed? Do not just sit there in silence while history is actively being made right before your eyes. Scroll right down to the comment section immediately, drop your raw thoughts, and let us get this global discussion moving. Make absolute sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe channel notification, and share this video everywhere to stay fully locked in for our next massive, explosive investigative update.